you love to play. Oh, you love to play. Don't your comments won't relay. Sign this on my page for you. Oh my God, he changed. Young life, I can't see back karma. I just need some brains so I could keep myself in order.
He got problems, she got problems, only I got 411 problems. Hey, hi, what's up, y'all? It's time for another story time, and I need to talk up because I do not have the microphone. I edited the first video that I used the microphone, and I don't like it. I don't like the sound. It's not giving FaceTime call. It's not giving genuine to me. I don't like it. So, I'm going to let y'all vote. But the show going to keep rolling without it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, so yeah, that's not gonna be till anyway, so I moved the story time on this date to a story time Saturday, so I had to replace this date, so that's this story. So I probably didn't even have to tell y'all about the microphone part, because the microphone story time is not until February. Anyway, let's get into it. And welcome to the story time of Prison Story. Me personally, have never been in prison. But stay with me. I'm going to bless you and it's going to make sense. My stuff is never clickbait. It always makes sense. It's always in the story. Y'all just... Not y'all, some of y'all. People who be passing through. Neighbors, that's y'all name. Neighbors who be passing through sometimes. Yeah, anyway, let's get into it. So, those who follow me on Instagram know, well, when I was active, who used to follow me when I was very, very active, especially during 2020, 2021, during COVID, my Instagram used to be popping, active, ridiculous, and I absolutely loved it. I got different people from different places all over the place talking. My lives used to be, I miss going live. The lives used to be so absolutely amazing. So absolutely amazing. And what was be so crazy about it, it wouldn't even be a lot of people on there. The most we would have on there might have been like 30 people, but the stuff that would come out in the lives, crazy. Maybe I need to make one of those lives a story time, because I promise you, yeah, it used to be crazy. Pandemic time, I'm not even gonna front. It was sad because of the situation that we was in under 45. But baby, the relationships, the algorithms, we had a good time. We had a ball in the house. Like we are resilient. We adjusted because we had a good time. Like I met a lot of people who were just really dope individuals that I probably would never meet now because of the algorithm. The algorithms now really suck, and they really trying to change everything into this machine type situation and to remove human interaction. And I think that is a huge mistake, and I think they're really going to regret it. Pay attention to the movies, like, for real. Anyway, making sure something wasn't in the background. Stuff ain't in the background. All right, let's get into it. So again, like I said, I meet different people. So my DM, I just went through my DM today. Of course, this story is previously recorded from when y'all see it, but I went through my Instagram DM. Oh my. And I was also looking for proof for this story time, for another story time, and another story time. For a total of 3 story times. Actually, I was looking for proof. But for 2 of them, I can't even find the stuff that I need to find. Actually, 4. I might have that stuff in another phone. So yeah, so I might have that stuff in another phone for that story time, but right here, right now, what we talking about, I don't have everything because he removed it. Now, I'm the type of person, I'm not gonna show you the person. Like, I'm not gonna put the person out there. I remove like the person's picture and they name and stuff and just show you the actual text messages between me and the person. Like, I never put the people out there unless they want to be put out there. And the most people y'all know on my channel is because they don't mind being on camera. Right? Anyway. So let's get into it. So like I said, I've met like a different set of people, and my DM was popping along with my Instagram. My DM was going crazy as well. And so at certain times, around this time, Kevin Samuels was starting to go viral, and he was still critiquing men, but he had started bashing women. He wasn't really critiquing women. He was critiquing men more than he was, like, in this era than he was women. But when he started bashing women is when he started to go viral. And that's the difference. And even with that, the conversations that I would have with this person, I need to give him a name. What are we gonna call him? We're gonna call him Rudy. So the conversation, like, Rudy, I didn't know anything about Kevin Samuels until Rudy started sending me like DMs to look at the videos. And a lot of times in this day and age, especially with social media, men feel like women are so disrespectful when it come down to men. And it's like, it's not all women, it's the women you choose. And a lot of times y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear it's the women you choose. Just like y'all tell us, like, when a dude is doing us wrong, y'all be quick to say choose better. And then when we choose better, then it's like, oh, he a simp. Which one is it, my love? Which one is it? But anyway, that's how I got whiff of Kevin Samuels. It really wasn't my explore page. It was him. It was Rudy sending me like, look at this, look at this, look at this. So this one particular video he had sent, the girl was already engaged, and she was asking Kevin Samuels questions about the situation with her engagement. Like, she was running down. He was asking her questions. She was running out answers. She was already engaged. And so he was like, listen to this. And Kevin Samuels was telling her, like, her marriage wasn't going to last. And I was like, I'm confused. Because why is she calling into a show that he's supposed to be critiquing for you to find love and for you to be better in a relationship, and she already engaged? Why are you getting advice from him and you're already engaged? And so he was like, you know, it's cool to take advice from people. We just don't like to take advice from women who are divorced. And I was like, Kevin Samuels is divorced. Kevin Samuels is the baby daddy on child support. And he got quiet. And I was like, okay. So I left it alone. Like, I left it alone. I didn't say nothing else, because it's like, literally, maybe, I guess you didn't know that. So it's like, let me let you ponder on the information that you just came upon, or maybe you fact checking me. Go ahead. I'll wait. So he came back the next day, and so he had sent another video. Like, again, people used to do that, which I didn't understand myself. People used to send, like, people would send me reels and say repost. Now, I don't mind you sending me reels to see it, because I'm not going to see everything on the internet that you see, because we're all in different algorithms. We are all in different algorithms. So, I'm not even gonna say that. We are all in different algorithms. So those who so people who, because I get them all the time, but I used to get the ones when people used to send me reels and they'll be like, post this on your page, repost this, and then I'll go to their page and you didn't even post the video, repost the video that you're asking me or telling me to repost. And I used to just leave them on red. Like I told y'all, I leave a lot of people on red. Sometimes I respond and sometimes I don't. Like, if I've seen it already, I'm not gonna respond, because I get people, a lot of people send me reels. For real. And sometimes I've seen it already, and then sometimes I haven't. Sometimes things are funny, and sometimes it's not. And if I feel like I want to comment or say something, I will. And if I don't, I just leave it. If I don't have nothing to say, I don't have nothing to say. So anyway, like, he used to constantly send reels. And so he was like, after a certain amount of time, like, he used to do that a lot, back and forth. Or if I posted a picture, he'd be like, oh, you're so beautiful, queen. He used to always say queen. You're so beautiful, queen. Or he would send roses. He would send heart eyes, things like that after I would post a picture. He would never comment under my pictures. He would only send them in my DM. He would like my pictures, but he would never like the comments, would always be in my DM. And so it was cool, because like I said, I had a lot of stranger homies on Instagram, meaning I had never met these people ever before in real life, but they was cool as on Instagram. Like, if we look for each other, where you been? Like, if they haven't been on for a week or two, it's like, where you been? Everything good? What's up? What, like, are you posting your kids? It's like, oh man, they got big. Oh man, I'm praying for you. Like, real talk, a lot of stranger homies on Instagram. I used to love Instagram. Instagram used to be so much fun. Now these social media BS it's toxic as hell. And I barely participate. Barely. I'm still right now loving YouTube. Hopefully that doesn't change. I'm hoping it doesn't change. Anyway. So yeah, so he had been doing that for a couple of weeks, and then so this one particular day he was like, hey, can I talk to you? And I was like, what's up? And so he was like, listen, my grandmother passed, and she was a certain age, and I am losing it because I'm in prison, and I've been in prison for 16 years, and I couldn't go to her funeral. So I kind of was taken aback, because in my mind I'm going, how you get a phone? How you get a phone? You been chatting and talking and sending videos. How you get a phone? How you get a phone in there? Put me on. How you get a phone in there? I didn't ask that, but in my mind, that's what I'm thinking, because it's like, I would have never known. I would have never known, because like your page, you post like memes and you reposted videos. So I would have never known that you were in prison. And the amount of time that you had been in prison. So you had been in prison for 16 years, right? So I was like, oh, wow. Once I got my thoughts together, I was like, my condolences to you. I'm so sorry to hear about your grandmother. And I was like, but why wouldn't they let you go? Because in my mind, you've been in there for 16 years, so you should know quite a few people. And you should be a trustee by now. So why they wouldn't let you go? Now, I was slick trying to add, like, kind of asking, like, what you did. What you did. But he didn't give me that information. I was trying to find out, like, what, because I'm that type of person. When I see people be like, freedom, free my homie, free, but until it's backwards, and I'm like, what they do? Because if you right here touching kids, or you don't essay somebody kid, baby, no, it ain't freedom. Leave them there. Leave them there. Please believe me. Now, this is going to, and I'm going to put a little insert of Diddy at the end of this, where it's going to make sense. Stay with me. Stay with me. And that's going to be the only time that I'm going to discuss. After this, when I discuss Diddy, that's going to be it. Like, I'm not talking about Diddy anymore. I'm tired of hearing about Diddy. Anyway, so he didn't tell me, but basically he was like, yeah, no, I've been here a long time. Like, I tried to get it approved, but it wasn't approved. So, like, I couldn't go. And he was like, that hurt me so much. And I was like, I can understand, especially if she meant something to you. I can totally understand why that would hurt you. And then you've been in there for 16 years. That's a long time. A very long time. So again, I was like, there was nobody you could talk to because you should be a trustee by now. I'm still trying to bend it. But that wasn't working. That didn't happen. So anyway, I was like, what happened after that? When I was still trying to bend it, but that didn't happen. He didn't say nothing else. Like, he got quiet. So I was like, dang. So, like, I pushed it too far. So I left it alone. So I would say like 2 or 3 days later, he was like, hey, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah, what's up? And so he was like, please. He was like, I watch your page. I've been watching you for a while, and you seem like you're the non-judgmental type. Like, you seem like you don't judge people. And I don't. I don't judge people because I've been judged so badly and so harshly, not just by strangers, but by people who's supposed to love me. So it's like, I don't judge people, because you got to be real careful. Life is a slippery slope. So when you think you on top of the hill, oh, the saying, be careful of who you look down on your way up, because those are the same people you see on your way down. You got to be real careful. Real careful. Y'all young people don't like to listen to the old people. I listen to the old people. Anyway, so I was like, I don't judge people. Like, because this life, like, people are quick to say, if I was in that situation, you don't know what you will do in that situation because you're not in it. So it's easy to say what you will do because you're not in it. And I was like, I don't judge people, because sometimes life comes and life be like, what? And you like, and life is like, these are your options. What are you going to do? Red pill or blue pill? What are you going to do? You don't know what you're going to do until you're in it. And so I was like, yeah, I don't judge people. So what's up? What's going on? I'm listening. Talk to me. So he was like, I got 3 years left. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, you almost did your time. I remember you telling me like you've been in prison for 16 years. So you did your time. You got 3 years left. You almost out of here. He was like, yeah, and I'm scared. Y'all, one of my favorite movies is Shawshank Redemption. When he said that, only thing I could think about was the old man. Remember the old man? I don't even remember his name right now. Dang. The old man who was in the library. Was it Reese? Riz? Something. I can't even remember the old man's name. I remember the old man who had the bird as the pet. He had the crow. Yeah. So the only thing I could think about was the old man. Because it was like, you had been in jail for so long that once you got out, once you got released, you didn't even know how to adapt to life. You didn't know how to adapt to being free. And so when he said that, that's the only thing I could think about. So again, I took my time to respond to that, because it's like, when you're talking to people and people are being vulnerable with you, you are tapping into their life. And you have to be real careful with the certain things you say. That's why I always say I try my best not to talk or react off emotion, because you never know where a person is. You never know. So I was like, I can totally understand that. And so I broke it down of how The Shawshank Redemption was my favorite movie. And I was like, I can understand, like, you've been someplace for so long, and now it's like going out and adapting. And he was like, right, like, it's so many things that I don't know, and it's so many things that I'm going to have to learn, and I'm scared. And I was like, but I'm not even trying to be funny, and I'm not even trying to gas you up. Even on the outside, there's so many things we have to learn, and there's so many things we don't know. It's an everyday process. So you take it as it comes. I was like, you take life 1 second at a time. I was like, when you get a job, like the job they will allow you to get, like, you don't let the no's discourage you. Once you finally start working, you're gonna have to learn that job regardless. Even if you're out. I was like, if I'm out and I decide to start a new job, I'm gonna have to learn that job because I'm a new employee. I don't know this job, you know? So I was trying to, kind of ease his fears with the things that he was telling me. And so he was like, no, my biggest fear, I'm not even gonna front, my biggest fear is women. And I was like, I'm confused on why that's your biggest fear. And so he was like, looking at social media, women don't love men, women hate men, women are using men for money. And I was like, listen. And that's the one thing I cannot stand about social media. I was like, for us, for African American women, for black women, what gets through the algorithm is the negative. There are plenty of women out there who are making money. There are plenty of, let me even be clearer. Let me go on a broader spectrum. I was like, how often do you see videos of great black fathers? And he was like, I don't even, cause he put, whoa, like, he's like, I don't really see those videos. Right. And I was like, but you know, there are great black fathers out there. Right. He was like, yeah, right. I was like, for us, they have to build the narrative. There are great black fathers out there. There are great African American relationships. There are long lasting relationships. There are great women out there. There are great men out there. There are educated men. There are educated black women. But that doesn't make the algorithm. That doesn't create views. For us, unfortunately, they have to keep the narrative going to where it's negative. So negative gets through the algorithm and positive doesn't. You want to test it out? Test it out. Put something out there where you're talking about loving on a black woman. You might get one or two likes. Put something out there where you want to love on a black man. You may get 1 or 2 likes. Put something out there where all black women ain't. I bet you're going to blow up. Put something out there where all black men ain't. All black men are dogs. I bet you're going to get engagement. And so he was like, wow, like I never thought about it like that. And I was like, yeah, it's advertising. That's who's in control of television, who's in control of the internet, who's in control of the algorithms, who's in control of what you see. So you start to believe what you see. Hence, when we walk into the store, everybody thinks we're going to steal the whole store, and the whole time like you slide your car. Every week now, 2024, in this day and age, when I walk in Walmart, I'm being watched every week. And I spend money in Walmart every week because I take my son every week so he can do his weekly shopping. So when he goes, I go do my weekly shopping as well. And every week I'm being watched. When I went to go purchase my laptop, that is on camera. Security was watching me. And I'm in that Walmart every week. While I'm recording, looking to make sure I'm making the right purchase for me. I'm the only person over there, but they watching. The dude who see me when I'm walking out the door. Oh, this is a great laptop. Child, I didn't even put, like I got a bag. Here, I ain't have a bag. Here, child. But they do that with our groceries. So, again, I was telling him, like, you have to think about the narrative. Because, again, and I went back to Kevin Samuels. I was like, you sent me those videos from Kevin Samuels. And I was like, when he was talking about the men, he wasn't popular. When he told that man, you got a little, that went viral. But after that went viral, the men stopped calling in and his numbers went down. I said, but when he started talking and bashing black women, he went all over. There's a difference between critiquing and constructive criticism and bashing. And that was the difference. That's what people weren't getting. Anyway, and so he was like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, what you're saying is making sense. And I say, and also I'm a little confused because if you're scared of black women, why are you reaching out to me? Because I'm a black woman. And so he was like, yeah, but you're not like all the other women. And I said, so if I'm not like all the other women, but mind you, and I said, no tea, no shame, my love, you've been in prison for 16 years. So how do you know what the women are like? And he was like, good point. Good point. You're right. Good point. And I was like, right. So right now you're prejudging. Right now you're putting a stipulation on women that you haven't even encountered. And so he was like, well, I want to be completely honest with you. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. And so he says, I've been SA in prison so much, I don't even know if I like women anymore. And I had to stop and again gather my thoughts, because it's like I'm talking to somebody who's being vulnerable with me. So I have to be very careful how I respond to this. And so I respond with, I'm so sorry that you were SA'd. I'm so sorry. And I said, and was this one specific person? And he said, no, this was on multiple occasions. And it's been so much and so often, it's to the point now where I enjoy, I want to make sure I'm saying the right stuff for my YouTube. What can I call it? I enjoy interaction with a man now. Like, I'm comfortable with it being with a man. He was like, and it doesn't make sense because I absolutely love women. And I know that I'm not gay. I know that I'm not bisexual. I am a heterosexual man. And I said, sweetie, you're not heterosexual. Heterosexual means you just want and attracted to women. And he didn't say anything for a good, I would say 5 minutes. Then he came back, and so he was like, no, I'm heterosexual. And I said, no, sweetheart. I said, so hear me out. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you being bisexual. Because at this point in time, because trauma was inflicted on you, you now enjoy something from trauma. And that happens. That happens. I was like, you now enjoy something because trauma was inflicted on you. I said, so let's go back to the trauma. Let's start there. Once the first essay had happened, did you report it? Did you tell someone? And he said yes, and nothing was done. And so he said, when I reported it, the same person who essayed me, it was worse the second time. And it was like, every time you think you have the ability to tell, I'm going to make it worse. And when he said that, I dropped my phone and I started crying, because I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Because every time I told my mom, the aftermath, because he wasn't removed, my essay got worse. So after the second time of telling my mom, I completely stopped and felt in my mind as a kid that I have to protect myself. So for him, you have to adjust where you are. And according to him, after that second time of him telling and it got worse, he just took it. And it was so many times he was like, because this person is so much bigger than me, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. And I was like, and so you've been SA'd so much that now you enjoy it. So now that's what you look for. But in your mind, you're not a bisexual man. Because you love women. Because when you went in, you were strictly heterosexual. Right? And so I was like, sweetheart, you're bisexual. And here's the thing I said, because we're not far from labels when you went in, but we've improved. We're better. And I said, so there are women who will date bisexual men. Women have dated bisexual men, knowingly and unknowing. The unknowing is down low men. The knowing is bisexual. Like, he is vocal about enjoying sex from a man. There are just men who do. There are men who enjoy just sex from a woman. There are men who enjoy both. And when y'all get to a point when you are adults and can finally be realistic about sexuality on a broader spectrum, the joking part won't even be a thought. Because it's weird. Real talk. It's weird. Anyway, so I was like, because he was having a hard time saying, like, I'm a bisexual man. I'm saying, sweetheart, you're a bisexual man. But there are women, once you are released, once you get out, there are women who don't mind dating a bisexual man. The key is you have to be honest. Your major is not being honest with her. You have to be honest with yourself. Because there's no way you're going to be honest with her if you're not honest with yourself. If you are not in your mind, in your brain, gathering the whole point of knowing that, hey, I'm a bisexual man, and it's not that you started out that way, it's because your trauma. And so he was like, I understand what you're saying, but if I say that, if I accept that, my family won't accept me. Unfortunately, it is so hard for people to be realistic about their sexuality. And so now people have to lie. And then here comes the consequences of lying, when people are quick to say, just be honest with me. Just be honest with me. And then when people are honest with you, y'all take that stuff and y'all belittle, or y'all humble, y'all ridicule, y'all do so much trauma to that person when they're honest with you. Even when your man, when it's like, when your man, you catch your man cheating, and it's this one particular girl, or your woman, you catch your woman cheating, this is one particular man that she can't leave alone. There has to be something going off in here to make you realize, like, it's something about that woman that man love, and he gonna keep going regardless. It's something about that man that she gonna keep going back regardless. And I need to make the decision on if I need to leave this alone, because what we have, I'm cool with. I just don't want you over there, and they keep going. You're gonna have to remove yourself. You're gonna have to be real with yourself. You're gonna have to be honest with yourself. As I tell people, you need to have an honest conversation with yourself. You need to reality check yourself. Because if you say you can deal with this, then deal with it. If you say you can't, you might want to remove yourself, because I promise you, that person is still going to go. They still going to go to that person. One way or another, they're going to make moves. Some way, somehow. And y'all going to sit there and say, I don't even know how y'all have time. When I asked you and you said no, when repeatedly they probably told you more ways than one. Or they probably saying, well, I want both. And you can't deal with that. You need to remove yourself to find somebody who will give you just you. Anyway, and so I was like, I totally understand that. And so he was like, with me losing my grandmother was the one who loved me regardless. Like, I'm pretty sure my grandmother would love me through this. But I know my family won't accept me. So once I get out, I have to pretend that I'm heterosexual. He's like, but my biggest fear is, once I do get in a relationship, I'm going to cheat on her for a man, because I enjoy having sex with a man. And I was like, okay, love, like, I'm not a licensed therapist. And I was like, and I appreciate the fact that you trust me and you feel safe enough to vent to me, but where's your therapist in-house? Like, this is something you need to be talking to your therapist about, because I'm not licensed to give you any information. I can tell you scenarios and I can give you a life. This is what it is. This is what's happening out there. There are women who will date a bisexual man. There are women who will knowingly, hey, I'm bisexual. Do you date bisexual men? There are women who do it, and there are women who don't. And then that's a lot of things too. Yeah, it's the people that y'all want that's not accepting who you are, and you don't grasp the reality, like, this is not the person for me because it's who you want. Even though they don't accept you exactly for who you are. That's the issue. Anyway, so I was like, you're going to have to get to a place to where you are comfortable enough in yourself to be real about your sexuality. 2, you're going to have to also be comfortable enough that everybody that you want to go with you, even though you've been away from your family for 16 years, those people are not the same people, and you're not the same person either, and they can't go. Y'all be holding on to people because they your family. That's your mama. That's your daddy. That's your sister. That's your cousin. Y'all like throwing out them little titles for people to treat you like crap. We've been in this relationship for 17 years. We've been in this relationship for 6 years. We've been in this relationship for 10 years. We've been in this relationship for 5 years. I'm not going to set you up for you to go be good to somebody else, but they're being horrible to you. So you going to thug it out in something that feels absolutely horrible to you. You don't even want to go home. You building up face because you afraid to let somebody else go be happy. You afraid to let yourself be happy because you staying in something because you're scared to let it go because you've been holding on to it for so long and it's comfortable. So again, with him, I was like, you're going to have to be real about yourself. You're going to have to be real with you. You're going to have to be real with yourself and realize that the trauma that you have endured, and you literally said it to the point where it broke my heart, it broke my spirit, that you have been SA'd so many times to the point now where you enjoy sex with a man. And I was like, you're going to have to be real with yourself, sweetheart. You are no longer heterosexual. You are bi. You are bi. You are bi. So he was like, I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. And, I'll, holler at you later. I hadn't heard from him for like a good week. He wasn't liking pictures anymore. He wasn't talking anymore. He just stopped talking. So I don't know if he's been released. I don't know how he's doing. The chat, I can't talk on. I think, truth be told, that I'm blocked. Everything that he told me, he removed out. Again, like I said, I wasn't going to put his face or put his Instagram out there. I never do that to anybody. I give everybody different names. I'm just telling my point of view. I give everybody different names, and I don't put the pictures out there. Especially if they ask, if they say, hey, I don't want to be on there, I block your face out. Unless you deceased. Like, if you deceased, then I put your stuff out there. Yeah, sometimes I don't even put the name out there of the deceased person. But, yeah, I would never put the actual person stuff out there. I would never do that. So, anyway, so let's get into the ditty of it all. Y'all made, because as I was telling my kid, well, actually, one of my homeboys asked, he was like, because he watched my YouTube, and he was like, so you made the video about Cass, and you was asking, like, girl, that ain't weird. Like, do you change your point of view? No, I don't. I grew up with this. Diddy is not the first rich person who throws parties like that. So with y'all, it's 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil. Right, because he's the host. When you're the host of the party, you have 1,000 bottles of champagne or 100 bottles of champagne. You have the food. You have all the supplies at your house because you are the host of the party. So if he's the host of the party, and this is where all the rich people are going, because in their mind, rich people don't trust the broke people because the broke people are trying to come and make a quick buck. So So, which is why when you willingly walk in the door and you're putting your phone in or you signing NDAs, that's the whole point of them recording you. Because when you go to law enforcement to say, after you've been beat down, now I'm not talking about fighting, I'm talking about your cookie snatch being towed down out the frame from 2-3 different people because you agreed to this. When you walked in, you agreed to it. And if I'm not mistaken, listening, because I listen to people talk, I listened to Lecrae. Lecrae said he went to a Diddy party. They told him at around 1:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30 a.m., you need to be heading out. So if they told him that, they not giving no warning, no nothing, you need to be heading out. But here's my thing. Here's my look on it. Everybody in the group in the beginning snaked each other. They were all snakes. That's how I look at it. What I want to know about the burner guns, because it's like, sweetie, why do you have AR-15s with defacing serial numbers when you are a millionaire, billionaire? You have security. Go buy guns to protect yourself. You have ample reasons to go get legal, legit firearms. So the defacing ones looking at you side eye. They're saying it was a minor there looking at you side eye. The people who went willingly and now because he paid Cassie, I'm looking at y'all side eye. I'm looking at Cassie's side eye because I honestly don't think you're innocent. You play the innocent role because, as some people used to say, it's the quiet ones that you got to worry about. And so let me tell you why I don't think she's innocent. So before, because y'all fail to realize there was things before social media. There was things called like the National Enquirer, and then there was talk, or you would listen to them in the interviews. Because as I told y'all in some of my story times, back then there was no line. So they would say whatever and do whatever on TV. Hence, look at Victim and Man. Like at all those scripted situations, there was no line. There was no line. So when Diddy was dating Misa, right? Kim Porter and Misa were friends. Kim Porter snaked Misa, started dating Diddy. So in comes Cassie. Cassie's dating Ryan Leslie. Allegedly, word of mouth, you snaked Ryan Leslie, who was cool producing, so to speak, with Diddy, to start dating Diddy. Allegedly, word of mouth, back in those days, you were talking to Kim Porter how Carisha talks to Gina Jen. That's how you were talking to Kim Porter, because they said you was walking around big time, big it, because you assumed that the way he did Kim, the way he did Misa, he wasn't going to do you. So you snaked Ryan Leslie to be with Diddy. So he left you, went to J-Lo. Word of mouth, he never beat J-Lo, but with that club situation, J-Lo was in court and J-Lo was like, we out. So J-Lo said he never hit her. What she said. That's what his homie said too. He never hit her. Right? So you went back to Cassie. When you went back to Cassie, y'all was doing the same old, to the point where she got tired. And when she got tired, she left you for his trainer. Now, the trainer, I'm side-eyeing too, because it's like you heard, you seen, you all these stories, and you still wanted to work for him? But you left Diddy to go be with the trainer he hired to get him in shape. That's who you married to now. Ball of snakes. When snakes mate pythons, especially, it's a ball. So now you got paid and all this stuff is coming out. Get your money. By all means, get your money. But my thing is, be honest about the that you did too. Don't do speculations. Be honest. You gonna be honest about the beating? Be honest about the snake stuff that you did too. Be honest. Because you don't do abusers. You don't like that. But after you left him, you went and worked with Chris Brown. And y'all don't like Chris Brown either. Y'all said he an abuser, but she went and worked with him. I guess that was cool because she just needed to get some money. Okay, cool. But here's the thing. And how I'm tying into the story. Because y'all was dragging the bottles of lube and the baby oil. I don't care what you got going on in your bed as long as it's two consenting adults. If those adults were not consenting, then that's where the issue lies. Right now, what it seems to me is it's an overkill. For me, it's an overkill. He ain't got no money. So, because what you paid Cassie and all these legal fees and stuff right now, he ain't got no money. And the feds picked him up first. So they froze all that stuff. He ain't got no money. So are you doing it because you want to embarrass this man and you want to put all this stuff out there? Or are you doing it because you're really serious about getting these victims? Because a lot of things right now is clicks and views. Even the big time media. Clicks and views. Clicks and views. Every time you turn around. Because the most, when it first dropped, all you heard was freak offs, freak offs, freak offs, freak offs, freak offs, freak offs, freak offs. You heard about the guns once. I think I've heard 2 other people mention the guns. Big time media. Not talking about YouTubers. So you have to be really, really careful with the slippery slope. And then even with the CEOs dropping. You got to be real, real careful of the snake ball, the snake pit. Because snakes turn on each other. Snakes eat snakes. It's the dog eat dog world. You just got to be really careful. My thing was, with all of that, y'all focused on the lube and the baby oil. Who cares? Who cares? Because my point is, if your phone was seized and they went through your text messages and your videos, that is the end of the prison story. I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life. And I'm not talking about Diddy ever anymore. That is the end of it. I'll see you in the next one. Stop judging people on their sexuality. It's weird.